strategies everywhere from £50 a week up to £100 million, and they're different. They range differently from everyone, but and from country to country, to be fair. Different countries have different tax laws, so different vehicles. But from your point of view, at the sort of normal end, I'm not going to call it the low end because I'm in that boat as well. It's as tax efficient as you can get it. That's where you start. You use all the tax efficiencies and then you step up into different things.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. It is your girl Sarah right here on Relaks Radio, and I am super excited to be here, all right, because we're having a very important conversation about the climate, about what we are doing to save our planet as well. So that is why this conversation is an important conversation, all right. So if you want to share your thoughts and your opinions with me, please feel free to go ahead and text me or call me on 07852473473. Share your thoughts, share your opinions, because I would love to hear everything that you have to say as well, all right. And don't forget to obviously like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, because that would be absolutely amazing, and it would help a lot of us stay informed and stay updated about everything that is happening in the world, okay. And don't forget to actually go ahead and let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you want us to talk about anything specifically, because that is what Relaks Radio is for, all right. So don't forget to do that. And before we head into the conversation, I want to very quickly remind you that we have an app that is available for download completely free of charge on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, and that will definitely help you stay informed and be informed about all of these things. So feel free to go ahead and do that, okay. And now let's actually talk about how over 50s want climate or over 50s rather want the climate crisis to be addressed, even if it means higher prices, okay. Now the majority of over 50s believe that the UK government should be doing more to in fact address the climate crisis, even if it leads to higher prices. Now this is what a study has actually found. So a survey of more than 500 people aged 50 and over have actually found that almost 2/3 want ministers to move faster on climate initiatives, regardless of whether it meant products and service would be more expensive over time or even much more difficult to access, right? I feel like a lot of this is fueled with with the IPCC report that was released as well. Now people have actually taken an interest, and they actually genuinely want to save the climate and protect the climate as much as they can, okay. And that that is exactly what that seems to be what what the concern is about, okay. And Stuart Lewis, who happens to be the founder of Rest Less, which basically conducted this study, said that this research actually shows that midlifers feel this huge sense of responsibility for the health of the planet and their role in reducing climate change, okay. So Restless is essentially a website that supports and provides advice to older people. Also found that only a minority of older people said they were unconcerned about the climate crisis, right. And this was challenging, and this basically challenged these assumptions that are there about this generational divide and generational divide on environmental issues, right. Because more often than not, people actually tend to think, look, if we're talking about which generation rather cares more about the climate, it's definitely Gen Z. It's definitely the Gen Zers, right? We tend to say that, but what this research has found is that it's not only Gen Zers, but it is in fact people who are over the age of 50 that actually care, that really care about the climate as well, all right. So that is some positive news. And more than 2 in 3 people polls said that they had actually bought fewer clothes to cut down on waste in recent years, while half of them had actually reduced their vehicle use and consumed less meat and dairy, okay. And 1 in 5 people actually said that they only bought seasonal food, while half said that they had reduced home energy use. Okay, so this vast majority of midlifers we surveyed are actually already making changes to their own habits, and from recycling more to consuming less, changing their travel habits. Some of them have even given up their car altogether. So that is some positive news, because I think that just goes to show that it's not just it's not just younger people, but it's in fact older people as well who care about the environment, right? Now, this research or these findings come as other research actually showed older homeowners were unlikely to receive significant financial benefits from greening their properties. All right. However, the truth is, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you are going to receive some benefits or whatnot. It can generally be just because you care about the environment. All right. So that is important to keep in mind. All right, and the government is also aiming to upgrade as many homes as possible to an average energy efficiency rating of C by 2035, right? But the average cost of improvements, which could mean insulating water tanks and lofts or installing solar panels and heat pumps, which can actually be much higher for older people because they tend to own older and less energy efficient homes. Okay, now a study that was actually conducted by Nationwide Building Society found that the cost of improvements was about £8,100 on average, but rose to about £25,800 for homes with a F or even G energy efficiency rating. Okay, so the average annual savings of greening a home are estimated at about £1,780 a year, meaning owners of older properties would only reap financial benefits after 14 years. Okay, so that is what needs to be kept in mind. However, now we're going to be heading into a small break, and after that we'll be back to discuss this further. So until then, make sure that you stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to the conversation. It is your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio, and I am super excited to be here because we're getting very close to the final few minutes of this show. All right, but don't worry, because I'm here to make sure that even though we're getting very close to those final few minutes, that I still keep you informed and entertained and updated about all of these things that are happening in the world. So make sure to stay tuned to Relax Radio. All right, all you need to do is just text me or call me on 078 0917 Share your thoughts, share your opinions, and I would love to hear everything that you have to say with regard to, everything that we're discussing as well. Okay. So don't forget to go like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, because that way you can find out our conversation when and where it happens as soon as it happens. Okay. And now let's actually head into what we're going to be talking about right now, because we're going to be talking about how Freshers Week parties could potentially spike coronavirus cases. All right. And the reason we're obviously having this conversation is because Freshers Week parties are going to be held next month in universities all across the United Kingdom. And this is happening for the first time ever since 2019. And they're holding in-person events as well. So it's important to keep in mind that this could potentially turn into a super spreader event, okay? Because the truth is, when it comes to these freshers parties, government scientific advisors have warned universities about hosting these because they could potentially lead to very large spikes in cases. Okay, now universities across the country are in fact planning to hold in-person events for first year students next month for the first time since 2019. All right, now Professor Susan Michie, who happens to be the director of the Center for Behavior Change at the University College London and also a member of the government's COVID-19 behavioral science team and a part of the independent SAGE group of scientists, said that even if freshers events were held outdoors, that would still be a high risk associated with them. Okay, and Freshers Fair Week will have the potential for being a super spreader event, and however much universities actually pay attention to making it as safe as possible, it's the behavior of people that won't be known. Now, she said this because she was speaking in a personal capacity, and she also said the other thing is Freshers Week events are traditionally known, or they've traditionally been associated with people drinking, right? And something that we're all aware is that alcohol consumption actually disinhibits your behavior. So even if people go in with very good intentions of behaving in a low risk way, or after a couple of pints, these things can actually change, right? So that is why it's very, very important to keep that in mind as well. But right now, we're going to be heading into a small break. And after that, we will be back to discuss this further. So until then, make sure that you stay tuned.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for? Why am I doing it? When will I need